Hi everyone, this is Doron and today I'm going to show you a neat little game called EPICS. This is a game for 1 through 8 players. It's a cooperative game. It takes probably, in my opinion, about 10 minutes, could be maybe 30 minutes. What's nice about it, it scales very well. It doesn't matter at what player count there is. Now the thing behind this game is that there are like 8, I'm just reading that 8 cataclysmic threats have unleashed their powers onto the world, threatening to completely annihilate it. Like a new theme, right? But hope still remains as 8 avatars of hope stand relentlessly against the waves of destruction. So the fate of the world is basically in their hands. So the way that this works, basically, if we leave the theme away, there are 6 threat creatures that we need to deal with. I don't know what to say here. There's 8 threats. I think there's like, we play with 6 per game even though there's 8, and there's a total of 8 avatars. Now I have the game set up for 2 players, and the way that this works, every player takes either at random or at choosing one of the avatars to play as, and I got it set up for 2 players. I placed here so it's conveniently placed in front of the camera those 2 characters, and then we have the threats. Now the way that this works, every round, or I don't know if it's a round, but we will reveal the first threat. We need to resolve it. Once we resolve that, we move to the next threat until the last 5th wave or round, I should say. We're gonna have to deal with 2 threats. Now let me explain to you a little bit about these cards. Each card here has a starting life point, which we set a red die accordingly. In this case is 5. There's a name of that avatar that one of the players plays, and then special ability that each avatar has. Let's actually zoom for a second here. Let's see here. I don't know if it's... There you go. Okay, so this one has a special ability of restoring 1 life point to another avatar, then reroll up to do 2 dice. I'm gonna actually show you the game, and then maybe we'll zoom on more characters as it might make more sense then. Alright, so we're gonna reveal the first threat, and this threat has a name which doesn't really matter. Sarin Shadow Reaper. You know what? For example, for the first game, I'm actually gonna pick something that will make more sense to explain the game as we go. Let's go with this one. This one has threats onto them. In order to demolish this creature, we're gonna have to go through these threats. There's a total of 3 challenges we have to go through, and each one from top, I'll read, it says 6D, which stands for using 6 dice against this creature. And the number 32 and plus stands that we need to basically roll a total of 32 and up to basically defeat that challenge. Once we defeat that challenge, we move to the next one, which in that case we're gonna roll 7 dice. We'll have to get a total of 40 points or up. Once we do that, we move to the third one, which in this case is 8 dice, 48 and up, and then we destroy it, we move to the next one. Each card has its own type of a challenge, and I'll show those to you as well. But we're gonna start by playing this game, and it will make more sense hopefully. Now, like I said, each card has a life, and I will play as this one at the moment. Now, one point I should say, once a card is being revealed, the player whose turn that is has the ability to choose to play as his avatar or any of these communal avatars. Basically there are no actual players to use them. I cannot use the avatar that belongs to the other player. Now it does make a difference which avatar you go with, depends on the type of the challenge. For example, like this one, like I said, restore 1 life point to another avatar, then reroll up to 2 dice. There's actually another avatar which lets you add a die and even reduce a die from the die pool. So if we need to roll 6 dice here, if I'm able to add a die, I would have a better chance of actually rolling 32 or higher. So that's something that will help me in that case. In some of the cards, it says, hey, you have to roll 8 dice and get 8 points, which means each die has to be 1. Or if I use an ability of a card to eliminate, to get a die out of that pool, I'll have a better chance of, or easier chance to defeat that card. Okay, so for this one, I'd like to, let's pretend that I'm going to be this player, and I will have to exhaust it, which means this card will not be able to be played by this player, or in that case, any communal cards, if they're exhausted, cannot be used again until this threat is defeated. So basically, if all cards get exhausted before we defeat this threat, we lost the game. Also, if all of them die, we lost the game. Once we defeat that creature, reveal the next one, and all of them they get refreshed. Okay, so we decide to use this one. We have to pick up 6 dice here. That's 4, and we're going to roll them. I don't know if it's visible on the camera, but we have 10, 16, we have 19 points. 19 points to get to 32 is really not that easy. The first thing that we get to do is to do a free reroll. I call it a free reroll. And the way that works, you pick up 3 dice from the pool, you roll them, then you have to keep at least 1 to bring back to the die result, and keep rolling. And you keep doing that until you basically kept all of the dice. So I will choose these 3 dice, obviously. I'll re-roll them. Ooh, I'm gonna keep these 2 6, and I'm gonna re-roll that one, and I got a 4. So now we have 18, 22, we have 32, which actually we defeated the first challenge, which that was actually amazing for the sake of the example. Now, as soon as something like that happens, we move to the next challenge. So we collect 7 dice. The same player gets to go again. He can pass, but then he's wasting the chance of using that avatar again. So let's say we have now 5, 6, 3, 3, and I'm gonna do a free reroll here. I'm gonna keep that one. I'm going to reroll these guys, 5, and a 2, and a 1. So now we have 11, we have 12, 18, 22, 27, right? 22, 27. So this time obviously we haven't got 40. So at this point I can use a life point. I have 6 life points here. I can use a life point to either reroll again 3 dice or use an ability. And I can keep doing that as long as I have life points. So what I would like to do, actually use his ability, and again, whether it makes sense or not, what I'm doing strategically doesn't matter. I'm just explaining that. That lets me add a die. His ability is add a die. I take it and I roll it. I got a 2. So I'm actually gonna use another life point to reroll. I'm gonna choose 2, 3, and 1. Again, I'm just doing that to show. Ooh, look at this. So I got 24, 34, 34, that's 41. So I defeated the second challenge. Now, let's go ahead and add an 8th die and roll that. I think it makes sense now what we're doing that, and I'm on a roll. I get great die results now. Let's see, so I got 24 plus 15, that's 29, 39. I have to get to 48. So I'm going to roll 2 dice. I got a 5 here. That was, I think, 28. I got 33, right? 33 plus 6, it's 39. I think I counted it correctly. Doesn't matter at the moment. I'm concentrating on filming. Let's imagine that I actually fail. So what happens? The turn goes next to the next player, this one here, and he decides whether he wants to use this one. He cannot use that one since this was exhausted. So he defeated the 2 threats, this guy, and what we can do, we can mark it with a die here saying that we defeated the second threat, or indicate third, that we are on the 3rd threat, just as a reminder. So let's say What else can we do? We can use this guy. Let's just for the fun use that. I'm gonna take again 8 dice. I hope that everything is seen well on the camera. I'm gonna roll. Oops. I'm gonna roll 8 dice. I got 6, 6, 5, 5, and then I get a free reroll. 3 and a 2, a 2. So again, I can use a life point to reroll 3 more. I can do it as many times, or use his ability. So at this point, I think the game makes sense. Once we defeat all of these guys, we won the game. So let me show you some of the abilities of the characters. This one I've already shown, and then I'll show the threat cards too. Alright, so this one, restore 1 life point to another avatar, then reroll up to 2 dice. So I can basically use this ability to increase his life point, and then reroll 2 dice. This one here, what do I have here? I'm just trying to focus here. Add 1 die or remove 1 die from the dice pool. The next one that I have here, I'll just read those out loud. I don't need to bring them to in front of the camera. This one here. Alright, so this one has change the result of 1 die to a 6. That one has choose the result of a die, increase or decrease by 1 all dice showing that result. So if we have, let's say, 3 dice that are all 5, I can change all of them to 6 or to a 4. This one, change the result of 1 die to a 1. This one is use the power of another avatar, whether it's ready or exhausted. So if this one was exhausted, I can use his ability. I will use my life point here to use his abilities here. This one, choose up to 2 dice and flip their currently face down side face up. So if I have a 1, I can change it to a 6. Return 1 exhausted avatar to its ready state, then reroll up to 2 dice. So that's a nice ability. Now let's take a look at the other threats. Let's do this, like that. Alright, so here we have to roll 6 dice and get the same number. Then 7 dice, same number, 8 dice, same number. This one, roll 1 die and get 1 or less. The less, it makes sense if you use the avatar with the ability to remove dice from the pool, so you can get a result of 1 or less. And there's a lot of them. Then there's 2 dice to get 2 or less, then 3 dice to get 3 or less. Now this one, you roll 6 dice and you have to have the result of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you have to do that 4 times. This is obviously a very challenging one. This one here, that's the Bruxis Pestilent Breath. You gotta roll 3 dice and get 15 or more. This one now is a very challenging one. Hopefully it's easy to see. You have to take 8 dice, set them up as 6s. Like this is basically the way that you rolled. You set up the roll ahead of time, and with abilities you need to have you need to manage to flip all of them to 1s. Then the second ability, the second challenge is set them all as 1s, like they were the results, and then use abilities to change all of them to 6s. Alright, I think that's it. I went over them. So that's basically the game. It's very neat, push your luck type of a game for people like myself who enjoy push your luck and combined with dice. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I appreciate if you like it. Subscription would be appreciated as well. And remember, sharing is caring. Thank you for watching.